approaching Tomorrowland Transit Authority Station.
Thanks for riding with us. It's been a pleasure to have you aboard. And even though we're concluding, this is always my favorite part. Because now is the time. Now is the best time.
Family is just randomly paraded down Main Street, USA. I don't know what this is. I don't know who these people are. Are they important? I don't know. This is just the kind of magic and pixie dust that happens here in Walt Disney World and Magic Kingdom. As long as I make it to work on time and not get held up, I'm fine with it. Live and let live. Good morning, coming to you from downtown. Today I had an early appointment because I got a Florida ID as a non-immigrant resident, which you can apply for. It's really easy. You need the social security number, so you need to wait for that. A proof of residence, which you can get from Flamingo, and your passport and visa. And then it costs $30 and you can take the card with you right away. I just wanted to have it because it's, well, first of all, it's, you know, it's nice and it's a nice souvenir because I live here now. I'm a resident at least for a year, and it's cool to have a US ID. And if you're anything younger than me, it also is helpful if you want to go out and buy alcohol. If you're something like in your mid-late 20s, it's helpful to have a Florida ID or driver's license, of course, to show if you want to purchase alcohol, because otherwise you would have your passport with you, because foreign IDs, like a German ID, is not accepted if you get ID'd for alcohol. I don't really get ID'd anymore, so for me that's not really much of a reason, but yeah, it's just nice to have, and it also helps with opening a bank account, which I want to do soon. So yeah, now I'm here in downtown. Behind me is a person with a noisy blow thingy, and behind me is Lake Aola Park. So I want to be taking a trip around the lake. It's not too big. Nice little morning walk. I only walk in the afternoon tonight, or later today. And maybe I get a coffee on the way, let's see, and then slowly but surely I'm making my way to the bus stop, and then I'm going to Disney by bus, because the Uber here was already $35, so I cannot afford this and don't want to afford this twice in a day. time today here at downtown Orlando. First time really getting out of the Disney bubble by myself, at least. Not to dinner with friends, getting there with the car, getting out, having dinner, getting back in the car, going home. So first time I'm seeing the city today. So far I haven't had the impression that there was an awful lot to do here, because Orlando is just really mostly about the theme parks, and Orlando downtown, not so sure if there's anything super special here, but it's nice looking for now. Both of these trees with the stuff hanging from them. It is, however, always a challenge to, if you've been in the Disney bubble for a long time, it's a challenge to get out and to see real life again, because what you experience in Disney World is of course not real life. It's a beautified, simplified version of life without really any poverty, misery, just happiness and magic. And that's not how life is, unfortunately. So getting back out and seeing that again after a while can be quite a hard landing back in reality. But yeah, nice day today. I'm gonna be on the lookout for some breakfast. So plot twist, I actually found a Publix, which is a kind of upscale supermarket here in Florida. Apparently the big thing here is to eat their chicken tenders, which is what my dear friend Milton, who's from Miami, was telling me multiple times. So here I am now, having a Publix chicken tender sub for breakfast. And they took really long. They took like more than 5 minutes to make one sandwich, so I'm very glad there were only 2 people in front of me. I don't know what it's going to be like when you have like 10 people in front of you for lunch. So let's see how we eat this thing. They wrapped it up nice. There we are. Here we go. You don't see the chicken tenders under all these vegetables, but vegetables are nice too. I'm here at the bus station, central bus station of Lynx, which is the bus service here in Orlando. And a few buses that you can actually take in the Disney area, mainly from Disney Springs, because that is usually the connection of Disney to the real world, let's say. And then also the transportation and ticket center is where I'm going right now with the 300, which is the express bus that goes from downtown Orlando, where I am right now. It's going through Disney Springs and then directly to the transportation and ticket center, where I can take a monorail over to Epcot. I'll probably change here to the bus that actually goes to cast services in Epcot. If you work there, you will see it every once in a while. And I don't know when this comes, and I have a lot of time. So, but yeah, I mean, buses aren't too bad here. They're just $2 compared to a $30 Uber trip. Can be a good option. The problem is getting to Disney Springs from Flamingo, which is what I'm paying. Because yeah, from Disney Springs you can get around pretty easily, but offer me transportation tickets, and I'm not getting either of those places from Flamingo is quite annoying. So yeah, the station here is decently clean. I think if you know large bus stations such as these in other big cities, you know that they can be pretty dirty and scary at times, but this one seems fine. The Disney bus will be right here, and it comes about every half hour, always 1/4 and 1/4 the hour. And yeah, let's see what the experience is going to be like. Buying tickets is a bit of a pain. The Lynx app is a bit weird, so you have to get used to that, or you pay cash in the bus. Hello, hello. I'm here coming to you from the way to Celebration, which is sort of the capital of Disney World, if you like. Celebration is an actual town. It's actually called Celebration, and it's close to Disney World in Orlando, Florida, and it's actually where the Walt Disney corporate headquarters moved from California a few years ago. And it is a sort of artificial town. I mean, I guess every town is artificial in a way, but it's even more artificial than artificial. It's a Disney town. Walt Disney himself was all about creating modern, sustainable, progressive living areas, communities. Epcot was supposed to be one, turned out to be a theme park. I guess Celebration is the next iteration of that. You can take the public bus, the number 56, from the Transportation and Ticket Center to come here, and then you have to walk for 20-30 minutes down this long road into town. You can take a walk around the lake, and I'm going to check it out today, what it looks like and whether it is just as cute as the Disney parks themselves. It is probably going to start raining any moment now, but it's been so oppressively hot today that I wouldn't even be mad. I have my poncho with me, so I am totally fine and prepared for whatever the weather might throw at us today. Passing by a golf course, and apparently there's also something called neighborhood electric vehicles here that are allowed within the community. And knowing how big scooters are in Disney World and the Disney parks, I am not even surprised that there are electric vehicles here to drive people around. Next to the golf course, passing by the first houses. Everything already looks pretty well manicured. Almost looks like the Netherlands here somehow, except for the palm trees. Meanwhile, it has started to drizzle a little at least, so I put on my poncho just in case, and we're getting a first view on the town of Celebration. It does look a little Disney-esque, maybe. At least a little bit like the Beach Club Resort kind of style right here. whatever this is. And there's always these weird birds just everywhere all around. And squirrels. This is a map of the town. The town center is here. That's where we are at the Lake Reinhardt. And I'm seeing if I can make it to the Disney headquarters office right here. So plan is to go like here somehow, like this. Let's see what we're gonna find on this way. Can apparently rent bikes and bike, which is also very un-American. And you can also take this modern mode of transportation vehicle thingy. It really does look almost as if you're dropped in the middle of some Disney resort on Disney World property. This cute little fountain, buildings all around, the oak trees, the magnolia trees, all very peaceful, nobody here. And what's pleasant is that everything here so far is extremely walkable too. There's sidewalks everywhere, which is definitely not a given otherwise in Central Florida. Essentially, it seems like Celebration is basically just one giant golf course, probably for Disney corporate people, with a few houses. Never mind what I said about walkability and sidewalks. Finishing off the last remaining meters towards the Disney corporate offices, you have to walk next to the road on the grass again, as usual. And here we are, this is it. 1120 Celebration Boulevard. Allegedly, according to Google, this is the headquarters of Disney Corporate. Even though I'm not quite sure I believe that yet. It is the weekend, so that's why there's nobody here, and it's also almost 6 p.m. At least there's no sign or anything, so I'm not quite sure, to be honest, whether this is it, but I mean, it's as good as any, I guess. At least we've had an afternoon of activity, right? You can, however, move your offices here if you like. So this address that we've just been to is kind of what the very first Google search result told me where it would be. The third search result said a different address on the same street but further down, which to be honest was maybe a little bit too far to walk without a sidewalk. And from the pictures on Google, it doesn't really look that much different. So even though maybe we didn't find the right office space and missed the correct one by a kilometer or so, I don't think we missed that much. It honestly doesn't seem to be that spectacular. A few weeks later, though, I was actually visiting the Disney offices at the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, California, and there was lots to see here. If you're a cast member and you're going to the West Coast, be sure to stop by. However, this residential area is, again, very impressive. And to be honest, I've just been to Savannah in Georgia, which is allegedly the inspiration for the Disney movie The Lady and the Tramp in terms of the architecture and the style of the city and stuff. But honestly, I don't think I've ever been to anywhere that looked more like a real life version of The Lady and the Tramp city than this one. And this little waterway leads directly into the little lake that we've seen before, and directly into the town center. All right, and here we're entering the town center of Celebration, which is basically just this road, it's just a little block down to the lake, and then the lake promenade up and down. I believe that's already the city center. I like to think that the American flags are already in anticipation of 4th of July, which is going to be in a few weeks from now, even though I think with the Disney town, you never really know, because Disney as a brand, of course, is as idealistically American as American gets. It's interesting as well that there's a ton of restaurants here, even though it's so small, but there's like only one restaurant per type of cuisine, as it should be, so nobody's taking business away from anybody. There's one diner, one pizzeria, one Mexican place, one wine bar, one Italian, one French bakery, one bagel bakery, and that's kind of it. The diner, for example, is over there. So let's see what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. What tickles our fancy? Maybe Italian? See, and this is exactly the scene from Lady and Tramp, where Tramp is trying to figure out where to take Lady for the date night dinner. Not a lot going on here right now. And I guess this is one of these neighborhood electric vehicles. That's really cute to drive around in. They do have a Kilwins here though, which is sort of like a fake caramel kitchen, or maybe it's the real caramel kitchen. I don't know. What I do know is that here they do cut the apples. Okay, maybe instead of dinner tonight is gonna be ice cream, or ice cream for dinner. Could be worse, right? Could definitely be a worse place to have a dinner ice cream than here, with some smooth jazz elevator music in the background. There's even a Starbucks here. Of course, I want to say. And whenever she got back to work, This seems to be a pretty popular place. That's quite busy. Spanish restaurant, Colombia. So even though Celebration seems to have been initially modeled and planned by the Disney company, it has since been sold. The city center or the town center has been sold to a private equity firm, says Google. So it's not Disney owned anymore, and you actually do not really see any signs of this place being affiliated with Disney. But I would still say, if you live here, if you live in Flamingo, if you're doing the program and you're interested in spending a nice evening somewhere else than the Disney parks for a bit, or Disney Springs, but you still don't want to quite get out into the hustle and bustle of the real world, Orlando downtown or whatever. So if you still want the perfect little manicured Disney look and feel of the perfect world as it should be, without being at Disney with all the crowds, then I think this is actually a really nice getaway, a really nice place to get out for a bit, see something else, feel a little bit like on vacation. And like I said, you can get here very cheap. You can take the public bus number 56 from the Transportation and Ticket Center into Celebration and just have a short-ish walk into the town center. Shortish by European standards, that is. Or, of course, it's not that far from Flamingo. You can also Uber or Lyft, especially if you're with a group of people. Then, of course, it's also very affordable and much faster, because you will also need to take the Flamingo bus from the Transportation and Ticket Center. So all in all, it will probably still take you over an hour to get here from Flamingo one way, while Uber is probably 15 to 20 minutes. But I have time, I'm by myself, I need to save some money, so I'm taking the bus. But I did like this place very much. It has a very nice, chilled and relaxed atmosphere. I'm very happy that I came here after work. It helped me wind down on a Saturday afternoon. I very much enjoyed my little ice cream sundae, even though it wasn't a proper dinner. But eventually the ice cream felt like the better choice given the time of day, the weather, the whole vibe, sitting outside by the lake. However, we are on our way back to the bus stop. The bus is quite a bit delayed by 15 minutes. That means we have a leisurely stroll ahead of us and we don't need to rush and can enjoy another golf course. And I do hope that you enjoyed me taking you along for the ride today to Celebration, to see a little bit what it's like, and maybe if you live here or going to live here, you actually became interested in coming here as well and checking it out. It's definitely a nice place and definitely recommend. Thumbs up. So long for now. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.